Hello, welcome to Today in History. My name is Sotonye Afiesiman. Join me on this exciting journey through time as we head back to the year 1360 and we encounter this dude, Charles V. Unfortunately, he died on this day in 1380. Who was Charles V, you may ask? Charles V was King of France from the year 1364 and led the country in a miraculous recovery from the devastation of the first phase of the 100 Years' War, which actually lasted 115 years. Not sure why it's called the 100 Years' War, but anyway, the 100 Years' War lasted from 1337 to 1453. Charles V died at the young age of 42, 16th of September 1380. Let's move on to the year 1490. His name is Tomás de Torquemada. He was a Spanish inquisitor. He was born in Valladolid, Spain in the year 1420, died on this day, September 16th, 1498, at the age of 78. So this man obviously was a priest and also an inquisitor, which is not a very good combination. Looks like an evil person, you can tell from his face. But yeah, so he died on this day in 1498. We now move on to the year 1620. This picture is a picture of the departure of the Mayflower for the United States of America. I'm going to show you some other pictures. So this is where it all started. So the Mayflower, English colonists boarded the Mayflower on this day, 41 men in total, and they set sail for the United States, where they founded Plymouth. Plymouth was always there. It wasn't called Plymouth, obviously. It's called something else by the local inhabitants. But yeah, these 41 men arrived in what is now known as Plymouth in Massachusetts. And there were two men who were mentioned that took this trip, William Bradford and Myles Standish. This also signed the Mayflower Compact on this day. So I'm going to end this section of this video with this beautiful painting that I started with. The Mayflower in the distance, and family and friends and relatives and so on, uncles and aunts, bidding farewell to their loved ones. Okay, 1810, and we're in Mexico. This man led a local revolt in Mexico. His name, as you can see, is Don Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla. He was a parish priest and uttered the famous words at the time, Grito de Dolores, cry of Dolores. So his cry was calling for the end of rule by Spanish Peninsulars. He also was calling for equality of races and for the redistribution of land. So this man, a man with a good heart who didn't like seeing injustice, was born on this day in 1810. Also, he led a local revolt in Mexico. Okay, let's move on to the year 1848. On this day, related incident, slavery was abolished in all French territories. So you can see from this picture the freed slaves rejoicing, and also the French flag to the left of your screen. the blue, white, and red flag of France. So France liberating her slaves on this day in 1848. So that was a good thing that happened today. Yeah, it must have been a turning point, for the families that were affected by slavery, by the enslaved ones. Pain they had to go through, the maltreatment, all that ended today. Okay, well, officially, we don't really know what happened after this was proclaimed. It's not something that usually happens at the stroke of a certain time or whatever. It usually drags out, because people have to get used to a new freedom. And then obviously the slave masters as well have to get used to the fact that they're no longer slave owners. Some of the slaves may decide not to even, accept the freedom, because that's what they're used to. So I'm pretty sure that would have happened. But I guess in some cases, the slaves kept in contact with their masters, those who had well-meaning masters who didn't maltreat them. They would probably hang around and help, as long as they were not treated badly. Anyway, that's just some speculation, but very likely, knowing human nature, that probably would have happened in many, many, many cases. Okay, 1891. On this day, his name is Karl Dönitz. He was born on this day. He was a German naval commander, and at one point briefly succeeded Adolf Hitler as the German head of state, and the year was 1945. As Supreme Commander of the Navy since 1943, he played a major role in the naval history of World War I. So that's Karl Dönitz, who was born on this day in 1891, and the book you see here is obviously his memoirs. Not sure what he's going to talk about killing people and, assisting Hitler in murdering 6 million Jews. But yeah, that's him. Born on this day in 1891. Hopefully we won't have a repeat of the Second World War, the killings of people because of their color, their ethnicity, and so on and so forth. Disability, sexual orientation, height, sex, whatever. We hope that the world has entered an era of fairness, especially after what the goings on in the United States. We continue to hope that we have gotten to that stage in history where we don't judge people by the color of their skin or by their tribe, because even within a country where most people, 99.9% of the population, is a certain color, you do have tribalism as well. It happens all over the world. Okay, let's move on to the year 1923, and this man who I admire so much, his name is Kuan Yew, as you can see from this picture. He was Singapore's first Prime Minister. Now, I'll read a bit about him. He was born Harry Lee Kuan Yew on this day, 1923. He's often referred to by his initials, LKY. He was a Singaporean politician and lawyer who served as the first Prime Minister of Singapore from 1959 to 1980. So that much I have said. But it gets more interesting. As one of the founding members of the People's Action Party, Lee is recognized as the nation's founding father. Okay, credited with rapidly transitioning the country from a developing third world country into a developed first world country within a single generation. So that happened under his leadership. Can you imagine a man? Imagine those who were children. Okay, not even children. You're old enough to know what's happening. A young teenager, for instance, a boy or girl of 15. And by the time that child is 50 or 55, he has seen his country being transformed from a third world country to a first world country. Amazing, amazing accomplishment that this guy had, or this guy, accomplished for his country. He attended the London School of Economics and graduated from Fitzwilliam College, Cambridge, with double-starred first-class honours in law. So he wasn't just a hard-working, pragmatic ruler. He was also an intelligent man, very, very intelligent man. So happy posthumous birthday, President or Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. So exemplary leadership he showed. Obviously, he was admired, still admired by millions and millions of Singaporeans. Singapore today is very, very well. Still a first world country, very clean. I haven't been there, but I've seen pictures of Singapore. I've heard about, Singapore from people who've been there. It's a place I'd like to visit one day. It's a beacon. It's a beacon to the rest of the world. First world or third world or second world countries. Yeah. So let's move on. 1924. This day, Laurent Bacall is an American actress. She was named the 20th greatest female star of classic Hollywood cinema by the American Film Institute. So she was born on this day, so just a year younger than Lee Kuan Yew. So that's the beautiful Laurent Bacall, who was named the 20th greatest female star of classic Hollywood cinema on this day. She was named by the American Film Institute. Let's move on to the year 1925. So another year later, B.B. King, American musician, full name Riley B. King, known professionally as B.B. King, was an American singer-songwriter, guitarist, and record producer. King introduced a sophisticated style of soloing based on fluid string bending and shimmering vibrato that influenced many latter blues electric guitar players. So that's B.B. King enjoying his electric guitar, born on this day in 1925. So happy posthumous birthday, B.B. King. And to those of his family members, fans worldwide who are thinking about him today, just hello. That's all I can say. Hello to you. Okay, Peter Falk, 2 years later. Love this guy. Found out just today that he was also an artist, So Peter Falk, for those of you who recognize his face, he's an American actor, full name Peter Michael Falk. He was also a comedian, known for his role as Lieutenant Colombo in a long-running television series. It ran from 1968 to 2003, for which he won 4 Primetime Emmy Awards, and he won these in the year 1972, 1975, 1976, and 1990, and a Golden Globe Award in 1973. In 1976, TV Guide ranked Falk number 21 on its 50 greatest TV stars of all time list. Wow. He received posthumously a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2013. So that's Peter Falk, who received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2013. So we're going to show you some more pictures of Peter Falk, some of his paintings as well. That's the Lieutenant Colombo, obviously. That's him as Lieutenant Colombo. And that's one of his paintings. and another one of his paintings. So, Lieutenant Colombo, born on this day in 1927, died June 23rd, 2011. Let's move on to the next. King Hussein of Jordan. As you can see from this book, he declared martial law on this day following the hijacking of 4 international airliners by the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. So this was what happened on this day in 1970. And he's got a book out, as you can see, by Nigel Ashton. So go check it out, find out more about King Hussein of Jordan. Okay, so moving swiftly on to the next item that happened today, the next newsworthy item for this day. The year was 1975. So on this day, 1975, the eastern half of the island Papua New Guinea, and well, we can't really call the whole island Papua New Guinea, but this island that's pictured here, part of which belongs to Indonesia, was granted independence from Australia. The western half gained independence from the Dutch in 1961, but became part of Indonesia soon afterwards in controversial circumstances. So main news item is that Papua New Guinea, pictured here in red, became independent on this day in 1975. They gained their independence from Australia. Okie dokie, let's move on to the year 1977. So, but before that, this is another picture of Papua New Guineans. You know, beautiful flag, lovely vegetation in the background, banana trees, beautiful, looks very paradisical. Okay, so 1977, Mariah Callas. Who was she? American-born Greek operatic soprano. She revived classical coloratura roles in the mid-20th century with her lyrical and dramatic versatility. She died on this day in 1977 at the youngish age of 53. So Maria Callas, who died on this day in 1977. 1993, Frasier, a sitcom comedy spin-off of Cheers starring Kelsey Grammer, debuted on NBC and became one of the most popular American television shows of the late 20th century. So that's the cast of Frasier for you. And this was the day Frasier made its debut in 1993. Last but not least, the year is 2016. His name is Edward Albee. He was an American dramatist, an innovative writer of raw, stringent plays, who was perhaps best known for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which was released in 1962. So published in 1962. That's the book, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. He died on this day at the age of 88. On that note, we shall end today's Today in History. So do me a favor, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and give me suggestions for improvements. You know, if there's anything you want me to add to the video, I have a few ideas, but you know, just chip in so that we can both help the channel grow. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, the 17th of September, for another edition of Today in History. My name again is Sotonia Fiasimama. Click on the like button. Subscribe as well by clicking the notification bell so that you receive updates, my video uploads. Also, consider sharing this with your family and friends as well. Thank you very much. Stay safe. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.